Hi guys, Ronnie here. Today I finally got my hands on my cyclocross saddle wheels. So these are not tubulars, as perhaps you'd expect. These are Zipp's new generation 303 Firecrest tubeless carbon clinchers. So this was basically the first wheel that Zipp have launched as completely tubeless ready and optimized for tubeless. And it's different from a normal Firecrest wheel in a number of ways. So the rim shape, as you can see, is extremely different. It's very, very blunt at the leading edge, and it's super wide as well. Actually, I've never seen a rim as bulky as this, so apparently it measures out as 30 millimeters externally at its widest point. And another difference is that this rim, being tubeless only and disc brake only, as you can see, it doesn't have any sort of brake track going on, and then the impulse go all the way to the edge, and the same goes for the decals. Now, because this is a disc brake front wheel, it also has a higher spoke count and a disc specific lacing pattern, so no radial spokes anymore. And the hub is the nicely machined 77 disc option. And another cool feature of that is that it comes with a set of interchangeable spacers, so you can fit basically any standard axle you want. So yeah, they just held on by a set of O-rings, so they just pop off like that, and underneath you got the bearing for service. So the version I'm going to use is the 12 by 100 mm axle, so those spacers are already installed, but it also comes with quite a lot of kit actually. So you get spacers for the standard quick release, so 100 mm quick release right there, and you also get a version for a 15 mm axle, so 15 by 100. You get a quick release skewer as well, and you get a very high quality Silca tubeless valve pre-installed on the rim, and I'm very glad about that because it's super high quality compared to anything else in the market. Even the Presta valve itself is super nicely machined, very, very sturdy, very different from the cheap ones. And it also has the rim tape pre-applied as well. You can see the internal width is equally monstrous, and the rim tape is probably Silca as well, because it really has a tough job because of this very specific rim shape, and it's actually super clever. I was just sealing my front tire, and I've done that straight away with the tire booster, but actually I don't think it was completely necessary, but I just wanted to save some time. And as you can see, it's very, very deep in the middle, so even though it was a tubeless cross tire, it got on with basically just my bare hands, very little effort. But still, because it has this ramp toward the outer edge, the rim sealed perfectly, even though it wasn't quite snug against the wall and the clincher bead completely. So yeah, I think it will work great with low cyclocross pressures, but I've yet to find it out. Now, this is the rear hub. It comes with the same interchangeable end caps, so you get 12 by 142, which is what I'm going to use. These are the quick release ones, which I'm yet to change. And it also comes with the quite rare, but still it's found on some bikes, so 135 times 12 through axle. So basically you've got every base covered. Now the weight of this wheel set is something in the region of 1600 grams. So I think that's not super light, but it's pretty good for a rim that's made to be extremely sturdy, extremely wide, and very tough. So hopefully it will perform. In terms of aerodynamics, now my wide cross tire isn't going to do it too much justice, but these rims on a road bike should be aero up to anything like a 28mm tire, being still super aero. Now you might think, or you might say that I could have gotten the NSW version, which is true. The problem is when I've ordered these, the NSW version wasn't yet released, and to be frank, the details and the features are not really all that different. So the rim shape is a bit different. The NSWs are a bit narrower, so they're just 29 mil wide instead of 30, and the internal width, which is more important for cyclocross arguably, is down from 21 to 20 mil. So it might actually have been a bit of a worse choice, but we yet to find out. Of course, the lower weight of the NSWs would have been nice. It's around 100 grams of a difference. And another good feature of those is that they don't have decals that could potentially be damaged. But in my experience, Envy have quite flimsy decals, so they're easy to damage, but the Zipp ones are quite sturdy as well. So I think this will be a nice set of hoops. The tires I have on there right now are the Schwalbe cross ones. So these are probably not the highest and most bling cross tire option, but I'm fully aware of that. Unfortunately, this is the only thing I could get right now because, well, I was looking at challenge tires, but those are not tubeless ready, which would be quite a waste with these wheels. And I have some Clements ordered. They should be a bit better than these Schwalbes, but hopefully I don't get beat too badly because of that on my first cross race. I have also installed this Silca valve shield right there. It just protect the rim a bit because I wanted to have the valve as tight as possible to get rid of air leaks, and I had these couple of these laying around, so I just put them on. And sealant wise, I have used slime tubeless sealant, and I wanted to use this because it has those tiny particles in, so in my experience it works a tiny bit better with bigger punctures, but hopefully I'm not going to suffer too much. And the very last detail, as you can see on the front, I already have the rotor installed. Now this is SRAM's Centerline X model, so the higher end rotor with the aluminum carrier, super light, and I think it looks gorgeous, very nicely machined, particularly in the 6-bolt version, and you also get a set of titanium bolts in there, so super cool, and I think it matches the high-end nature of this wheel set. Now, why did I choose 140mm rotors, you might ask? Well, on the road, I would surely prefer to have the power of the bigger brake of the 160, but on a cross bike, I think the modulation of the smaller rotor might actually come handy, particularly at my low weight of just 60 kilos. And another fact that I like about using 140s is that you don't have to use any kind of adapter. You can use the brake straight away on the frame. Okay, so this is my first introduction to the 303 tubeless disc wheels. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you'd like to see more wheel sets reviewed in detail, particularly high-end stuff like Zipps and Envies, then don't forget to tune into my channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.